There are symbols carved into stone, standing in deserts, buried deep underground, enduring tens of thousands of years of sand, war, and silence. Symbols that people today walk past without a second glance, but the ancients once bowed in reverence before them. A pinecone, and a strange little bag. Not a crown, not a sword, not a throne, but a pinecone and a small square-shaped handbag. Why does the pinecone appear everywhere, from ancient temples to the staff of the Pope? Why does a small handbag show up in nearly every ancient civilization, from Egypt to Mexico, from Mesopotamia to India? These are not coincidences. These are messages left behind by the architect gods, and we've ignored them for millennia. From the Dogon people of West Africa to the myths of the Maya, countless legends tell of a time when beings descended from the sky. The ancients described them as radiant, wearing long robes, holding two sacred objects. A pinecone in the right hand, a heavy, mysterious bag in the left. They didn't come to conquer. They didn't wage war. They came to share something. What was it? Knowledge. Balance. The link between heaven and earth. Some called them the Anunnaki, others Viracocha, or the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl. But they all carried the same thing, a bag, not filled with food or tools, but with something much more profound. The blueprint for civilization. Why is the pinecone sacred? Because it mirrors the shape of the pineal gland, a small gland in the center of the brain, right between the eyebrows. Ancients believed this was the third eye, the gateway to higher consciousness. The Sumerians carved gods pressing a pinecone to the human forehead. The Hindus call it the Ajna chakra, the center of inner vision. The Egyptians placed it on the forehead of Osiris, the god of the afterlife. And in Vatican City, a giant bronze pinecone stands in the middle of the papal courtyard. Why would such a pagan symbol appear at the heart of Catholicism? Who placed it there? And why has it remained for centuries? The pinecone is not just a shape. It's a reminder, a trigger, a signal to awaken. Imagine you could carry everything needed to build a civilization in a single satchel. What would be inside? The ancients say the gods brought a bag. At Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest known temple in Turkey, carvings of identical handbags appear atop T-shaped pillars. In La Venta, Mexico, the Olmec carved a serpent-headed god offering a similar bag to a kneeling human. From Sumer to Egypt, from the Indus Valley to West Africa, this same shape repeats, over and over. Not once, not twice, but across continents and centuries. What's inside the bag? Not gold, not food, but something far more precious. Laws, astronomy, mathematics, ethics, social structure, a universal operating system for humanity, a sacred toolkit, a cosmic USB drive, a message in leather and thread. This is how you build civilization. After gifting the pinecone and the bag, the gods left. But they did not leave the earth unguarded. They appointed kings, the first rulers. Not gods, but those with divine blood. In the right hand, they held a scepter of power. In the left, the sacred bag, the legacy of the stars. From Hammurabi to Ashurbanipal, from Pharaoh Akhenaten to King Asoka, they all shared something strange. They never let go of the bag. It was not decoration. It was proof that their rule came not from strength, but from understanding. In ancient Assyrian reliefs, one stands out above all. Two winged beings flank a tree. Two kings stand before it, crowned. Atop the tree sits Anu, god of cosmic balance, turning the wheel of fate. No smiles, no chaos, only a quiet, solemn exchange. A contract between heaven and earth. You will receive knowledge, but you must maintain balance. Break this harmony, and you will be swept away. This was not myth. It was a warning etched in stone. One day, disaster struck. No one remembers how. Fire from the sky? A comet? A global flood? But almost every civilization was erased. Only stone remained faithful. At Pillar 43 in Göbekli Tepe, the message is still there. The bag floats above. The Scorpius and Cygnus constellations below. It's a star map. A cosmic timestamp. A memory carved in rock, long before alphabets were born. The gods had gone. The kings had crumbled. But the symbols still waited. Modern scholars call it coincidence. But how do you explain? Why the same pinecone appears in Vatican art, Aztec rituals, and Khmer temples? Why the same handbag appears in civilizations separated by oceans and millennia, with no evidence of contact. Are we really still calling this mythology? Or are we staring at a forgotten truth? The pinecone, the eye that sees beyond. The bag, the plan to organize chaos. Together, they represent the sacred promise that humanity could rise, not through conquest, but through consciousness. Maybe not all gods wanted to be worshipped. Some just wanted to hand us the map and watch us grow. Now, it's our turn to remember. The next time you see a pinecone, on a church gate, a monument, or a staff, will you just see decoration? Or will you pause and hear the whisper in stone? We once gave you the design for life. The knowledge is still here. You only need to open the bag and remember. Because perhaps, all it takes to change humanity is just a pinecone and a little bag.